Thanks for joining me for practice. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel and share it with family and friends. In the description is a link to my Patreon account if you'd like to offer a donation. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Let's come into a comfortable seated position. Any cross-legged position's fine. You can move the flesh out from underneath the sit bones and sit tall. Close the eyes. And feel the base of the body anchor into the earth and then lift through the crown of the head. Create space in the spine. And as you settle the mind, begin to find the body breathing. Feel the inhale come in through the nostrils and reach down towards the base of the spine on inhalation. And on exhalation, feel the breath move from the base of the spine back up and out. It doesn't have to be complicated to start. You can simply just observe in and down on inhalation and up and out on exhalation. As the breath comes in and moves down on inhalation, soften the pelvic floor so you can feel that the breath reaches all the way into it. And then on the exhalation, engage and lift the pelvic floor to help push the breath back up and out. And a few people may be able to just separate that movement from the abdomen, but most of the time on the inhalation, as we bring the breath in and down, open and soften the pelvic floor, we'll feel that opening, spreading sensation. But then on the exhalation, as we engage the pelvic floor, actually the navel often comes with it. So that draws in and slightly up, again to assist pushing the breath back up and out. So a few rounds of watching that. And throughout all of these breaths, just becoming aware of this subtle action, that internal action inside the body, and how it assists a stronger exhalation, a more stable and controlled exhalation. And then begin to work your breath count to V-YACEP. So a 5 count on inhalation, a 7 count on exhalation. So we're letting the exhale be about 2 counts longer than the inhale. Keep softening on inhalation, keep engaging, and having a little bit of control on exhalation. One more here, please. And then take a moment to relax your breath, relax all effort. Let it come in with ease and grace. And notice the mind being drawn to that area of the navel center, right where the action was, where that slight engagement of the abdomen assisted the exhale. And here in the center of the navel, can you visualize a stable but brilliant fire? Fire is that expression of the divine inside the body. And in the yogic tradition, they often refer to it as the fire that knows you. This is the fire that helps to heal, that helps us to extract nutrients from our food, that gives us the Shakti, the energy and willpower to go after what it is that we seek in the world. So we're going to be working on building this strength of this navel center as well as increasing a controlled fire there in the abdomen. And you can bring your hands together in front of your heart and bow your head to your hands and set that as the intention for the practice today. So if there's anything in your life right now that's asking for a little motivation, maybe a little bit of that Shakti or fire to come in, then please bring that into your intention now. And that can be physical, mental, or emotional, any of the layers. And then place that intention in your heart. And we'll begin with the chant of Om 3 times. Remember to really bring in the 3 sounds. Ah on it, the beginning portion, which really vibrates into the lower portion of the spine. O is in the middle portion and the middle part of the spine. And then the is the upper portion. Deep inhale. And a long exhale out. Good. Now another deep inhale in. And just lower your chin to your chest and take a moment to rub your hands together and create some warmth between your palms. And once you get some good friction there, bring the hands, cup the eyes, and then just soak some of that warmth and energy into the eye sockets, and then just kind of rub the eyes gently. Rub the forehead down into the cheeks and down the jaw. And then open your eyes and come back into the room. Coming into tabletop position. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet pressed down. And the Bija mantra for this navel center and for the fire is Ram, R-A-M. So we're going to use a little bit of chanting in our practice today. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the sit bones, look up. Without the chant to start, we're going to draw the pelvic floor, navel in and up, round the back, and take the sit bones to the heels for child's pose. Repeat that again. Inhale, coming forward and up, lifting the heart, lifting the sit bones, look up. And then on the exhalation, lift the pelvic floor, lift the navel in and up, and slowly make your way to child's pose. Okay, so remember that 5-7 breathing on your next inhale. We're going to do what's called piercing that navel. So with the chant of Ram, it's going to sound like this. Ram, 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 ram. Good. Inhale, come up. Heart lift, sit bones lift. 3 more like this, please. Ram 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 ram. Inhale. Remember your exhales are longer. Ram 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 ram. One more, just like you're piercing the navel, keep your attention right in that center. Ram 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 ram. Good. Now inhale, come forward. Lift the heart, lift the sit bones. Exhale, stay in the position and just empty the body of breath. So squeezing from pelvic floor, through core, through ribs, through chest. Now hold the breath out, don't breathe in. Tuck the toes, lift the sit bones up and back, come into down dog, and draw that pelvic floor and navel deeply in and up under the rib cage. And then as soon as you need to breathe, inhale here, heart lift, sit bones lift. And one long Ram as you go back to child's pose. Ram. Repeat it again. Inhale. Heart lift, sit bones lift. Stay in the position. Purge the body of breath. Exhaling pelvic floor, core, ribs, chest. Empty as completely as possible. Now hold the breath out. Don't breathe in. Tuck the toes. Lift the sit bones up and back. And use that suction to deeply pull the pelvic floor and navel in and up. And only hold that as long as you can. As soon as you need to breathe, inhale, tabletop. One long Ram as you go back. Ram. Good. Again, inhale. Exhale, let it out. Empty completely. Hold the breath out. Tuck the toes, lift sit bones up and back. Inhale down when you need to. And chant. Ram. 2 more, please. Ram. One more. Awareness in the navel. Ram. Now stay down. Walk your hands as far forward as possible. If you'd like, you can come up onto the tips for a moment, lifting the inner palm, let the heart soften, and then lower the palms down. Feel that stretch along the side bodies, breathe into them. And walk your hands over to the right side, lateral stretch here on the left. Breathe into the left lung, left rib cage, and return to that 5-7 breathing that we started. So maybe sending some of the heat from the fire into the left side to help open it. And then walk back to center and over to the left. So right lateral gets a nice stretch this time. Soften the right shoulder. Breathe into the rib cage. And come back to center. Bring your elbows down into your mat. Wrap your hands around the middle part of your arms. And either interlace your fingers and press your forearms down or spread your palms wide with your forearms parallel. Tuck your back toes under. Lift your sit bones up and back and come into dolphin variation of down dog. So just like we were doing a few moments ago, have your feet about hip distance apart. Turn your toes in slightly, heels out. That internal rotation encourages a little bit higher lift through the sit bones. A little bit more opening there through the sacral area. And then continue to push into your forearms so that the apex of your triangle is reaching up and back. Now, just like we were doing a few moments ago, here, gravity will help to assist the pelvic floor and core lift. And at the bottom of each exhalation, you can make that a little bit deeper. Feeling that emptying out sensation, creating a deeper relationship to the navel. Head and neck is relaxed. Good. Bring knees to floor, sit bones to heels, relax into child's pose, or if you prefer embryo, that's to take the hands by the heels and just round the upper back, softening the shoulders. Feel some of that residual warmth move into the upper body. Now, if you'd like, you can repeat that again if that's enough work for you. Or we're going to do what's called dolphin push-up. So we'll wrap our hands around the middle part of the arms again. And this time, if you prefer, just kind of interlace the fingers, press the forearms down. It's a little more stable. Tuck the back toes under. Lift the sit bones up and back for dolphin. And then as you exhale, you're going to take your chest over your forearms, wiggle your toes back a few inches, and just hover there around plank. Then inhale, lift the sit bones up and back again. And repeat that. Exhale, you're coming down. Navel's hugging the back body. You're just hovering right there along plank. And then inhale and come up. And we'll just go in and out with your breath. Take your time. There's no rush. And remember, you have that longer exhale, so you can take more time to go into the posture. The slower you go, the more you're working and challenging that musculature. Just a few more here with your breath. And then bring knees to floor, sit bones to heels, and rest when you feel ready. Take your time, there's no rush. Again, if you like to take the hands by the heels, rounding the upper back, you just soften the shoulders, really let go. Breathe into your kidneys, into the back body, any area that feels like it just was worked. And remember the fire, visualize that in the navel center, burning bright and strong and stable. Good, hands forward again. Come back up into tabletop, heart lift, sit bones lift. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog, and then rise onto the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, look at your hands, and step yourself forward to the fingertips. Open your feet about hip distance apart and bring a little micro bend into your knee. Hands on the back of your thighs, rub down a few times just to relax the backs of the legs, helping to coax them into opening. Head and neck is completely relaxed, crown facing the earth. Good, and then the next time you bring your hands to about mid-thigh, we're going to keep the hands there, squeeze the elbows into our side, and now pushing equally into both feet, just come halfway up, and your hands will travel up along the back side of the glutes. You can keep a micro bend in your knee if you need to. And then exhale, navel to spine, slide back down. So hands to stay on the backs of the thighs. Again, inhale, squeezing those elbows back behind you. Just come halfway up, feeling that flat back, navel engaged. Exhale, navel into spine as you go down. So a few more rounds like this, please. We're just moving really in and out of monkey pose, but without relying on the arms and hands to push forward. We're really having to use the spinal muscles and that postural chain. So it's a very therapeutic way of working that posture. One more here. And then we'll melt into forward fold to stay. So if you'd like, and bring your hands all the way down, fingertips lined up with your toes. Let your head and neck be completely soft and watch the tendency to sink your weight into your heels. Come forward just slightly in the balls of the feet and allow the tailbone to lift just a little bit higher. Those of you that have a little more flexibility can work towards straightening your legs, but keeping that micro bend is perfectly fine, especially since we're just warming up. Also watch the tendency to roll to the outer foot, so bring a little bit of pressure to your inner foot, feeling that maybe connected to the pelvic floor. And then keep relaxing your head and neck, relaxing the upper body, navel hugs in and up. And one more full breath here. And then bring your hands onto your hips. If you like, bend your knees, press into your feet equally, and slowly come back up into standing. If you need to roll your shoulders out a few moments, take the time to do so, and then we'll just find Samastiti, standing mountain pose. Eyes can either be closed or soft gaze. If the eyes are open, try to keep the gaze at the horizon line today. And take 2 more breaths here, please. Return to that 5-7 breathing. One more breath. Okay. So classic sun salutation A, starting at the front of your mats. Have your big toes touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart, or feet hip distance apart. Inhale, the arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose. Hands on the shin or floor. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank. So for the first round, we'll modify. Bring knees to floor. Squeeze the elbows tight. Modify chaturanga. Tops of the feet come down. Inhale, halfway up for cobra. Elbows and shoulders are pulling back. And exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to take our 5 full breaths here. So remember those alignment principles we did just a moment ago, and keep your attention in the navel center, visualizing that fire. Keep drawing the abdomen in and up on exhalation. Strong, stable Ujjayi breaths. One more. And at the completion, rise onto the balls of your feet. Bend your knees, look at your hands. Step or lightly hop forward. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose. Hands on shin or floor. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Arms reach. And exhale, hands down by your side. Tips, gaze at the tip of the nose. Repeat that again. Inhale, come up. Exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Inhale, monkey pose. Pull the sternum away from the pubic bone. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position. Now this time, if you want to leave your knees lifted, squeeze the elbows tight, chaturanga. Then inhale, roll over the toes for upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog, 5 full breaths. Navel hugged in and up. So traditionally here, gaze is between the legs, or if you can, gaze up the navel center. Ujjayi breathing. 2 more. And at the bottom of your exhale, rise onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, look at your hands, step or lightly hop your feet forward. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose with a flat back. Exhale in forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Arms reach, and exhale, hands to the heart. Gaze down at the tip of the nose, or you can keep your arms by your side. Repeat that again. Inhale, look up. Arms reach, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway monkey pose. Flat back, exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog, depending on if your knees are down or up. And exhale to downward facing dog, 5 breaths. Keep rolling your shoulder heads away from your ears. Squeeze your upper arm bones toward one another. Remember, your feet and your hands are like the same grounding point, so anchor into both. Breathe into the abdomen. Two more. Keep hollowing out that belly at the bottom of the exhale. One more. And on its completion, come onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, look at your hands, step or lightly hop forward. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose with a flat back. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Arms reach. And exhale, either hands at the heart or down by your side, gaze at the tip of your nose. Just 2 more rounds, please. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, monkey. And exhale, plank position, chaturanga your way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, down dog. 5 breaths. See if you can surrender through the back of the neck so much that you can gaze up at the navel center. But of course, internally, that inner eye is watching and visualizing that fire. Agni. At the bottom of the exhale, balls of the feet, bend the knees, look at the hands, step or lightly hop forward. Inhale, halfway, monkey pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise. And exhale, hands down, gaze at the tip of the nose. 1 more round. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step or hop back, plank position your way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. 5 breaths. Ujjayi breathing. And you can really begin to see how the abdomen is like a pump. Each inhale, each exhale, moving blood, moving tissue, everything that helps keep the body healthy. And balls of your feet, bend your knees, look at your hands, step or lightly hop forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift up. And exhale. Hands down by your sides or at the heart, whatever works better for you. But gaze either at the tip of the nose or at the horizon line. And relax the body. Feel energy moving, feel some warmth from the practice. Good, 1 more breath. And back at the front of the mat, big toes are touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale and forward fold. Now we're going to step the left leg back, and if you need some padding under your knee, flip your mat over and lower that knee down. Coming into low lunge, inhale, reach the arms up and over the head. And then stay in this low lunge position and lower the arms down. So we're going to move in and out of low lunge. Inhale, bend into the front knee and reach the arms up, opening up the upper back. And then exhale, come straight, bringing the arms down. And repeat. Inhale, lean into the lunge, arms open, expanding through the front body. Exhale, arms come down, tuck the tailbone under, lift the lower belly. Repeat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Now, taking your right hand onto your thigh, inhale the left arm up as high as you can, really opening up through that left lateral, and then bring that elbow over, come into twist. So left elbow onto the thigh, hands into prayer or fist with your bottom hand, cup with your top, and now rotate your navel deeply to the right. So we're going to inhale, full breath in. If you have to unwind from the twist to get that full breath, do that, unwind a little. And then as you exhale, we're going to squeeze the navel towards the back body and twist a little deeper. And you may not see that on the outside, but you'll feel it on the inside. Again, inhale, unwind enough to get a full breath. Now do that with the chant. Ram 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 ram. Unwind a little, get a full breath. Ram 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 ram. One more. Ram 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 ram. Good. Gently unwind. Fingertips at a finger stand. Tuck your back toes under. Come into high lunge. When you bring that back knee off the floor, the front knee has to be in alignment with the ankle. Now send your heart forward. Breathe deeply there. Anchor into your left hand and take your right hand to the outer thigh. Roll that outer thigh down. Rotate the navel to the right. And now keep that right arm up in the air. And we're just going to stay here for a few breaths. So another kind of gentler twist. Make sure that back leg is strong and straight. So hug the muscle to the bone. Lift both up and out through that back heel. Breathe deeply here. Steady your gaze. Keep rolling the outer right hip down while the left hip lifts a little higher. Lift through your pelvic floor. And then bring your right hand to the floor. Step your back foot forward. Come into standing forward fold. Feet hip distance apart for a moment. Slide your hands from your glutes all the way down to the Achilles. And do that 2 more times. And hands to hips, scoop your heart, press equally into both feet as you come back up to standing. Take a moment, arms by your side, and just feel. Okay, if you want, you can bring your big toes to touch space between the heels or stay with hip distance apart. Inhale, the arms reach up. And exhale, forward fold. And this time we're going to step the right leg back. So if you want to put that padding under your knee, flip your mat over, lower the knee down. Inhale, come all the way up, reaching the arms into low lunge. And then exhale, bring the arms down by your side. Good. Repeat. Inhale, bend into the front knee, arms reach, opening up through the front body. Exhale, tailbone in, lower belly lifts, arms come down by your side. Again, inhale, lean into it. Exhale. 3 more with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Remember, the exhale is just a little slower than the inhale, but Good. On the last one, you're going to bring your left hand to your thigh. Inhale the right arm up and really elongate this right side body. Open up through the lateral. Now take that right elbow on top of the left thigh. And again, hands in prayer, fist with the bottom hand, cup with the top, and rotate the navel to the left. So you're getting a nice twist here for the spine, stable legs. And then take a full inhale, and if you have to unwind to do that, go ahead. On your exhale, pull the abdomen in and squeeze and rotate a little deeper to the left. Good, we're going to do that same thing, bringing in the chant. Inhale, unwind a little bit if you need to for a full breath. Exhale. Ram 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 ram. Two more. Ram 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 ram. Ram 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 ram. Good. Unwind. Fingers in a finger stand. You can undo your mat. Tuck your back toes under. Now make sure your front knee is in alignment with your ankle. Press firmly into both legs and feet. Now press right hand down into the floor. Left hand can roll that outer left hip down. Soften into the hips, but keep the back leg strong and reach the left arm up in the air. Make sure you're reaching both up and out through that back heel. Breathe deeply here. Make sure you see your left thumb in your peripheral vision. One more. And bring the hand down. Just gently unwind. Step your back foot forward. Feet hip distance apart. Hands onto the glutes. Slide the hands down to the Achilles. And do that 2 more times. One more. Bring your hands to your hips, scoop your heart, rise up, and release. Take a moment just to feel. Gazing steady at the horizon, or you can have eyes closed or gaze at the tip of the nose. And starting to feel some warmth come into the body. So when we stimulate this fire center, we do feel the residual effects of that as heat and warmth. Very nice. We're going to start at the back of the mat. Have your feet hip distance apart. And if you need to, blocks would be handy to have nearby. So put them somewhere around the middle part of your mat. We can always modify if you don't have blocks. All right, so feet hip distance apart. Turn your left toes out to a slight angle and step the right foot forward to a comfortable distance and account for the width of your hips. So we want to have the hips squared, meaning right hip is pulling back, left hip's coming around, and then hands onto the sacrum to start. Inhale, reach your left arm up in the air, elongating the left side body, and then exhale, just come down halfway, a little micro bend in that front knee, reach crown away from tailbone, and then inhale, come back up. And do that again. Exhale, come down just to halfway. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Remember, the exhale is a little longer than the inhale. 2 more, please. Nice and steady. On this last one, you're going to stay hovering at that midpoint and notice all the musculature that needs to be engaged in order to keep that back relatively flat and a lift through the torso. Now, you've got options for your left arm. You can take your left hand directly underneath your shoulder on the floor or block, or to the outside of the foot on the floor or block. No matter which position you choose, you're going to rotate the navel to the right and have a hand flat on the sacrum for a moment just to feel. So if you feel there on the sacrum that one hip is lower than the other, lean forward and back into your legs until you get that stable position. And then take the arm up if it's comfortable. And now breathe here. And push into the back heel, draw the crown forward. Feel the sternum move forward, away from the pubic bone, making as much space in the torso as possible. A little deeper twist here. Stay with it. Squeeze the inner thighs toward the midline. One more. And relax over that front leg. Now, fingers in a finger stand just to start, or you can use your blocks, but lift your sternum away and then melt into the forward fold. And now all that warmth, just soften into it. Let the head and neck hang. Make sure you're not dropping into one hip over the other. So again, feel that they're balanced. You can check with your hand if you need to. And then let the head and neck go. Let the crown reach towards the earth. If you've got the flexibility, gaze up at your navel. One more breath here, letting those layers go, surrender. And then step your right foot back into a short down dog. Walk your hands back to your feet and stay in your forward fold. Let your upper body really melt over your legs. Enjoy symmetrical, but maybe notice there's a little more length along the right than the left now. Hands to your hips. Inhale, scoop your heart forward and up. And come into Samastiti. Rest here for a moment. Take a full breath. And turn your right toes out to a slight angle. Step your left foot forward to a comfortable distance. So it's about 2.5, 3 feet. And again, here too, we're trying to get those hips squared. So you can account for the width of your hips. More traditionally, it was on almost like a straight line from heel to heel alignment. But those were for very narrow hips from younger boys. So you can adjust a little bit to accommodate. Hands onto the sacrum. On your next inhale, this time the right arm reaches up in the air. Right side body elongates, and then exhale, come down to halfway. Press the back heel away from the crown. Inhale, reach into the feet to come up. Again, exhale. Inhale, use your breath. Last two. And on this last one, when we come down, we're going to go down and then choose the position that best serves us. Remember this feeling of all that musculature being engaged. You need to use that for the twist. So right hand can go down underneath the shoulder on a floor or block. Right hand can go to the outside of the foot on the floor or block. Your choice. Left hand onto the sacrum, flip it flat, and then feel underneath your fingertips. If one hip is lower than the other, lean forward and back into your legs to square them off. Rotate the navel to the left. And then making sure everything is nice and stable, lift the left arm up. Breathe here. Gaze steady. Keep pressing into your back heel to reach the crown forward. Squeeze those inner thighs. The legs will stay firm. Try to relax your shoulders, your face, your jaw, any place you don't need to have tension. And it's really not even tension, it's muscular action. Any place you don't need muscular action. Last one. And then we'll release. And this time we're going to melt over the leg again. But before you do, fingers in a finger stand or on your blocks and get as much height through the spine as possible. And then melt over the leg and let the head and neck soften. And now work through those layers again, letting go. Navel hugs in and up. Releasing the gripping. Last one. And then step your front foot back rather, into a short down dog. And then walk your hands back to your feet and stay in your forward fold. And then again, notice, has anything changed? Right side, left. Does your symmetry feel a little more balanced? And then hands to hips, scoop your heart, and slowly come back up into standing. Take a moment just to feel. Maybe notice that warmth, the fire in the navel center. And then we'll take a vinyasa to keep that fire going. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold navel to spine. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose with a flat back. And since we're at the back of the mat, we're going to step our hands forward into plank position. Knees lowered or lifted, your choice for chaturanga. Squeeze the elbows tight as you come down. Inhale, cobra if the knees are down. Up dog if the knees are up. And then exhale to downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Work on surrendering that navel deeply in and up under the rib cage. And this time when you complete your 5th breath, rise onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, look at your hands, step or lightly hop forward. Inhale to monkey pose with a flat back. Exhale and forward fold. And inhale, lift and rise all the way up, arms reach. And exhale, hands by your side or to your heart. Gaze at the tip of your nose for a moment. All right, so we're gonna just want to get into the hip for a moment before we go into one of our other postures. So an easy way to do that is wade into the left foot, put your right foot onto your mid-thigh, flex the foot. Coming into a modified chair, hands in prayer position, we're gonna sink those sit bones back and just allow the glutes to stick out behind us and start moving into that outer hip rotator. So gaze traditionally is at the horizon, but you can look down at the floor if you need it for better balance. Keep flexing the right foot, keep allowing this hip to open. And as you sink back with your glutes, make sure you're feeling that little bit of pelvic floor core lift to support the spine, and the heart is free to be open and relaxed. One more here. Good, now we're gonna take our left hand to the outside of that foot, come up into standing, pull that foot up as high as you can, and then half lotus here, just gently place the right knee down. One more breath. And release that. If you need to shake out your feet, please do so. Okay. Weight into the right foot, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So left foot goes to mid-thigh, flex that foot, hands to prayer, and you're going to start to sink back. And you might notice there's a big difference between one side and the other. That's okay. We are often imbalanced in where we hold our tension. So just breathe into it. Keep allowing those glutes to go back. Lift pelvic floor and core, free up the heart, let the collarbone spread. Breathe right into those areas of sensation. Two more. Now grabbing the outside of that foot, you're going to lift up with your spine, straighten your bottom leg, hold the outer foot with your hand, and then gently place your left hand on your knee and feel that little bit of a half lotus here on the other side. Allowing the knee to soften down, breathe deeply. And gently release. And again, if you need to, shake out your feet. Okay. So cross your left arm out in front of your right, And then your right goes over, rotate the palms together. So you're in what we call eagle arms. And we're just gonna do a little bit of opening of the shoulders. So inhale, lift the elbows as high as you can. And then exhale, lower them down. Feeling that depression of the shoulder heads. Repeat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. We'll switch sides. So this time the right arm goes out, left arm goes over at the elbow. Rotate the palms together. And we'll do the same thing on this side. So inhale, lift the elbows as high as you can. And exhale, lower them as low as you can. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Good, one more. And then just let the arms go. A couple of shoulder rolls just to make sure that everything's happy. We'll go in one direction to start, and then go in the other direction. All right. So Garudasana Eagle Pose. Step your right toes out, and then cross your right leg over your left at the thigh. And then if you can, tuck your toes behind your calf. And if not, don't worry about it. Just let the foot be back there. Right arm goes out, left arm goes over like we just did a moment ago. Cross the palms together. And now we're going to stay here in eagle pose. And breathe deeply. And those of you that have a little more flexibility, you can begin to squat. So the elbows come closer to the knees, and you'll feel that pelvic floor and core lift deeply in and up. Keep breathing here. Come all the way back to standing. Point the toes, fly the arms, and find Samastiti. Take a moment, it's intense. Let's do the other side. Point your left toes out, and then cross your left leg over your right, and if you can, tuck your toes behind the calf. Left arm out, right arm over, rotate the palms together. Good, staying here, finding your balance, or begin to go into squat. So elbows join knees, and as you come down, pelvic floor lifts, core lifts. Breathe deeply. Ujjayi breathing. Noticing that navel center, the fire stimulated there. And then come up, let the arms fly, and release Samastiti. Just take a moment. Okay, back at the front of your mat, you're going to need at least one block. Bring your big toes to touch, space between your heels. Take your block 6 to 10 inches in front of your left big toe, so it moves towards the midline. And then we're going to bring the fingertips to the floor, and if you can't, you can always place them on your block, and you're going to let the right leg go up in the air. So to start, you're going to press out through your back heel and look at your back toes. And this is very much like prepping for Warrior 3. In fact, if you wanted to, you could just stay here. Otherwise, right hand's going to go onto that block. Lift your torso like you did when you were in pyramid pose to get that nice strong flat back. And then left hand goes onto the sacrum. So that's like option number 2. Option number 3 is to begin to rotate. So you're going to squeeze those inner thighs towards the midline of the body. And as they do, feeling the pelvic floor engage, navel rotates to the left, and only if it's comfortable, straighten that left arm. Keep pressing the back heel away from the crown of the head. Breathe deeply here. One more, it's challenging. And unwind into forward fold. So step that foot down, find the symmetry again, let everything relax.
And then we'll start the other side. So again, big toes touching, space between the heels, and take your block now 6 to 10 inches in front of the right big toe towards the midline of the body. Okay, so fingers in a finger stand or on your blocks if you need it. Take your left leg up in the air. Make sure your toes are pointing straight down. So just right there, we're engaging that back line. There's a lot of muscles that have to work there. So you could just stay there if you needed to, or left hand's gonna go onto that block in whatever position you have it, and you're gonna lift the torso so you get that same strength we worked in pyramid. Now right hand can go to the sacrum if you're comfortable, and you're still engaging that side body as you begin the rotation. So your navel opens up, shoulder opens up, breathe deeply there. As you turn your gaze to the side wall, if it's comfortable, right arm can reach up in the air. Push the back heel away from the crown of the head. Stay firm through that back leg. And it's a lot. Inner thighs are squeezing toward the midline. Pretty much everything needs to be engaged here, but your face can be soft. Breathe deeply. 2 more. Welcome that shaking, opening up what's tight. And then gently release. Come into the forward fold and surrender. One more breath here. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose, your way. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position. Chaturanga, your way, knees lowered or lifted. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale to down dog. And from downward facing dog, we're going to come forward again, knees to floor. Squeeze the elbows tight till the belly comes down. And bring your forearms in front of you. Turn your toes out, heels in, so it's like you have frog feet. Feet are a little wider than hip distance apart. And then you're just going to rest your head and forehead on your forearms. Now feel your belly anchored into the earth, belly breathing. Nice little massage there for the internal organs. Last breath here. And then gently release. We're going to roll onto our backs. So have the feet flat, knees bent, prepping for bridge pose. Arms are down by the side. You can lightly touch your heels with your fingertips. Inhale, roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. And exhale, roll down, navel to spine. We're going to do that dynamically 5 times. So inhale, roll up, and bring in that long chant of Ram as we go down. Ram. Inhale. Ram. 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 Now on this last one, inhale, roll up. Stay lifted. Bring your shoulders as deeply underneath you as possible. Interlace your fingers into Yoga Mudra. Press equally into both feet. And as you do, draw the shoulder heads away from the ears. Elongate the neck, slight lift to the chin. Feel the tailbone lengthening so glutes are relaxed, but tailbone is absorbed into the body.
Breathe deeply here. Nice and steady, visualize that fire in the navel. Keep sending your breath there. One more. And come onto the balls of the feet. Roll the shoulder heads out from underneath you. And one vertebrae at a time, just slowly take the navel into the body and roll down. And then have your feet a little wider than hip distance. Let your knees fall in and just rest. Rest the musculature. Let the body be supported by the earth. Good. Extending the legs long to the floor. Take the right leg up. Hook the index middle thumb around the big toe. If that's not possible, hold on to the calf or any part of the leg that is comfortable. And then the left hand is going to send down the left thigh towards the left toes. Keep reaching and lift your torso off the earth. See how high you can get it. Try to get the shoulder blades off the earth if you can. And now breathe deeply here. Core is strong and engaged. And then release your head and neck and take that right leg out to the side and then hand onto this left hip bone, roll that left hip out to the side. And you can take your gaze to the left. Gravity is just going to take the inner thigh. So soften through the leg, soften through the arm. One more full breath here. Let go. And now come back to center. We're going to take this right leg over the body, but you're going to pick your hips up and shift them behind you a little bit to make sure your back's happy. If your left hand can reach for the toes, you can hold on to the toes or just hold the calf. Right arm opens up and now coming into a twist. Navel opens to the right. And breathe here. And feel this more passive twist. We did a lot of twisting today in the practice that was active. Here, we're just letting gravity do the work for us. Let's surrender into that. Still maintain your 5-7 breathing. And then we'll slowly release. You can release the bind on the leg, come back onto your backs, and just make sure that you're squared nice and even before extending the legs down. Good, left leg comes up. Hook the index middle thumb around the big toe. If that's not possible, hold on to the back of the calf. And now right hand's gonna slide down that right leg towards your right toes, engaging your core. Breathe here. Lift your shoulder blades off the earth as much as you can, using your core strength. Keep reaching the fingers towards the toes. Using that strong abdominal lift. And then head and neck releases. Take your left leg out to the side, right hand onto the hip bone, and just rotate that hip to the right. Gaze over the right shoulder. Feel a separation here in the pelvis as we begin to open and release tension. And of course, gravity is going to take that left leg. So just surrender. Surrender the inner thigh, outer hip. Breathe deeply. One more full breath here. Let go as much as you can. And then return to the center. We're going to cross this leg over the body. But once that leg comes over, we're going to pick our hips up and shift them behind us. Make sure that the back doesn't have an excessive curve. Right hand can reach for the toes. If not, your calf is fine. And then breathe deeply here. So navel rotates now to the left. Opening up that left shoulder. Keep softening through the chest. Enjoy this passive twist. And still notice how the inner thighs are drawing in and up. The pelvic floor is very subtly engaged, and this provides just a little more structure for the twist. And as you finish the last one, gently unwind. As you come back onto your back, just make sure that you square yourself off on your mat. And you can hug your knees into your chest, maybe rock a little bit from side to side on the spine. Just make sure the spine is happy. And we're going to extend the legs all the way to the floor. So as the legs extend down, we're going to work on a mudra with some of that work that we were doing earlier with the bandhas, which is that lifting of the pelvic floor, the deep lift of the navel center. And we're going to add in Jalandhara Bandha, which is the chin lock. That's to draw the chin towards the sternal notch, and in this case, the sternal notch also towards the chin. Interlacing your fingers, take your arms over your head and elongate, bringing your legs and feet together, just like a good morning stretch. Now exhale and relax the hands onto the crown of the head. Take a full breath in, fill chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor, and then using your core strength, lift your pelvic floor, pushing the breath out. Push the breath out from the abdomen, from the rib cage, from the chest. Everything is pushed out so that you're as empty as possible. Now hold the breath out, don't breathe in, and push the palms away from the feet and use the negative space, the empty breath, to suck everything deeply in and up. So you're lifting pelvic floor and core even more, which puffs up the chest, which puffs the sternal notch closer to the chin, and the chin is actively drawing down towards the sternal notch. When you need to breathe in, relax the musculature, let the hands come back down to the crown of the head, and take a full recovery breath, inhale and exhale. Do this again. Inhale, full breath in. Breathe chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. Now on exhalation, squeeze out the pelvic floor, the lower abdomen, the rib cage, the chest. Every bit of breath comes out of the body. Hold the breath out now. Don't breathe in. And now suck the navel deeply in and up. Push the palms away from the feet. Get more room in the torso to deepen that suction. As you keep that breath held out, maybe lift the sternal notch a little bit more towards the chin. Create a little more height. And whenever you need to breathe in, you're going to relax the musculature, take your breath. You can bring the hands back down to the crown of the head, bending the elbows, and take a recovery breath and inhale, exhale. Okay, so this Tadaki Mudra is a very personal practice, so we're going to do 3 more on your own. Begin. Full inhale. Exhale completely from the bottom up. Hold the breath out, find the suction, push the palms away from the feet. Breathe in when you need to. Relax the arms again. Take a recovery breath. Last 2 on your own. Begin.
Okay, right around the last one. If you're able to get an extra one in, that's great. There's no rush. When you finish though, you can let your arms come down by your side. Take a few recovery breaths, getting steady and still. And if you want to move right into Shavasana from there, let your arms be down by your sides, palms face up, shoulders tucked underneath you. Legs a little wider than hip distance, feet rolling open. If you're in a lighted room and you have an eye pillow, place the eye pillow over your eyes. And then just enjoy the residual effects of that practice, the stillness, the calm, the quiet.
So very slowly begin to deepen your breath. As the breath comes in, begin to run the thumb across the fingertips. Very gently move the toes. You can roll wrists and ankles. And without rushing, make your way onto your right side into a fetal. Arm under the head as a pillow. And then placing a hand deeply into the air, slowly come up. Head and neck heavy, eyes closed as you come into a comfortable seated position. And if you'd like, you can prop your sit bones up for a few moments of meditation. Hands can just rest comfortably in the lap. Have a tall spine and a relaxed body. And take a moment here just to bring your attention to the tip of the nose. Watch the airflow come in, feeling cool air enter the body, and feel warm air exit the body from the tip of the nose. As you trace that cool air into the body, see the fresh prana coming down towards the navel center, feeding the fire gently with prana and oxygen. And the warm air comes up and out, releasing anything that has been burned away. Tracing this pathway of breath in through the nostrils and down to the navel, and from the navel up and out. And on your next inhale, trace the breath in and down to the navel center, and then hold your attention there in the fire, in the Agni at the navel. With that visualization in the mind's eye, or at the very least, the intention for the visualization, begin to mentally repeat Ram. So Ram, 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 Ram. Mental repetition as you gaze at the fire. As you continue to chant into the fire, beginning to notice the glow or radiance coming off the fire. An internal glow. And just like the light of a fire is centrally located here in the abdomen, the light of the fire, the glow, is able to radiate well beyond that central point. So see that light now permeating the surrounding area, all the way up to the area of the eyes, the third eye, crown of the head, and even beyond the boundaries of your skin, bathed in that golden glow. Keep chanting. And now let go of the mental repetition of the chant and just hear the residual vibration continuing to soak in that golden light. Let it heal and nourish you and uplift your heart. Purify your mind. And lowering your chin to your chest, keep that good feeling with you as you bring your hands back to your heart. Gratitude and celebration for this fire, for the light that knows you, the fire that knows you, and for its ability to heal and nourish, warm, and ignite. Ram Agniye Swaha. We'll seal the practice with a chant of Om. Take a deep inhale in and a long exhale out. Another deep inhale in
Namaste.